So group quiz. It's like she didn't list the quiz.
Yeah. Well, there's the extension problems, but we have those for every group meeting. But it made it sound like there's another group quiz to do as well.
Because according to the key, there these. What's the key to extension?
Extension problems.
No. It's like,
and the quiz.
But I looked at it, and the questions aren't even the same.
They're not. Yeah, they're different.
What the heck?
Like the extension problem, like the key has 2 questions, but the extension problems are 3. The same.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
And then she has the key for the group quiz. I wonder. She probably wouldn't give us the answers to the quiz on purpose, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So
she might have listed the wrong thing.
I think so. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Have any of you guys texted her before, or does she do texting? I don't remember.
I've emailed her a few times.
Yeah. So
yeah, she does email, but not sure if she's one of the ones that was like, text me if you got a problem or something. I can't remember.
That's funny. Okay.
Well, do the extension problems and
yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
go. Alrighty. Alrighty.
When you complete the square on this one, you do 12 over 2, and then you get -6 plus 6, and then kick one outside to get a trinomial. Is that right?
Yeah, but okay.
Hmm. Did you get it, Chris?
Yeah. Did you?
4 and 11 over 3 for the vertex? I'm not sure.
What's the equation that you got?
3x parentheses x minus 4 parentheses minus 11.
I have 3 parentheses x minus 4 like parentheses squared minus 47.
Oh, okay. So what'd you do different?
So what I did is I put like those first two numbers, like the 3x squared minus 12x. I put that in parentheses. You
Mhm.
factor out a 3,
That's I could have done that right at the very beginning. Oh, okay.
and then you're left with x squared minus 4x, and you just like complete the square.
Uh-huh. I factored at the end the 3 out. I didn't think to do that. Okay. So then you got x squared minus 4 minus 2 minus 4x minus 2
Uh,
after
no,
you factored the 3 out.
I just have x squared minus 4x, and then like you close the parentheses, and then the plus
All
1.
right. Okay. Right, and leave the negative 2 outside. Okay.
Wait, where'd you get a negative 2?
When you factored the 3 out, sorry, I miscopied that. That probably screwed me up. Oh, sorry. When I squared it, that was where my 6 came from. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, just a plus 1. And then you squared the 4x, or is that
Well, and then you
I was-
you complete the square.
by x minus 4 squared?
X. Wait a minute. I think I did this wrong. Sorry.
Is it not 4 over 2 to square it? And then you would get plus 2 minus 2.
That's what I got. Plus 2 minus 2.
Is that what you did? So then the next line was 3 outside of x squared minus 4x plus 2 minus 2 plus, and then parenthesis plus 1. Or you go ahead and put the negative 2 out, don't you? Sorry. And then when you put the plus 2 outside, do you multiply it by 3?
Yeah.
So you got 3
Wait,
outside of x squared minus 4x.
Wait, where'd you get the plus 2?
After we squared the 4,
Wait, so you get the 4, you divide it by 2, and then square it, and you add that on, right?
oh yeah, that's right. I
That's how
didn't
you-
square it. So it should be a 4, right?
Yeah.
You see that, Rachel?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Now I'm following
It
along.
should be plus 4 minus 4
Okay.
plus 1. Okay.
Mhm.
And then 3 outside of x squared minus 4x, parenthesis. Then you kick that plus 4 out, multiply it by 3, gives you plus 12. Minus 4 plus 1.
No, you want to kick out the negative 4
Oh, okay.
because like it'll end up being like once you square it all out, it'll be like x minus 2 in parentheses squared.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4.
The difference of squares. Okay, gotcha.
And so like you want to keep the positive number but kick out the negative one.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the last line before you did the 0, reset everything to 0 and solve for x is what, Chris? What'd you get?
I got 3 parentheses x minus 2 close parentheses squared minus 11.
So where did the x go?
What do you mean? Well, if you
The-
take x squared minus 4x plus 4
Yep.
and you factor that out, it becomes x minus 2 squared.
Okay.
Because like if you take x minus 2 times x minus 2, you get the x squared minus 4x
Did
plus
you
4.
say 3x outside of x minus 2? I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
You just-
So it,
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear it. Okay. So 3x outside of x minus 2 squared.
wait, you don't take the x out with it.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
So that's where I was confused.
You just factor out the 3 and leave everything else inside.
Okay, but then once you square that trinomial, you lose your. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
You just simplified it. You factored out and simplified it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's x minus 2 squared. What? What did we end up getting?
Minus 11
Minus 11. Okay.
because you take out that negative 4, multiply it by the 3, and you get negative 12
Uh-huh.
plus 1.
1. Okay. Is this what you're getting, Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay. So the x minus 2 squared, that just equals x equals 2, right?
It's like I don't think we have to we're not supposed to solve it. It's just like the question is like write it in vertex form.
Oh, okay.
Find the
So then
vertex.
we know that 2 and negative 11 is our vertex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Axis of symmetry is our y.
I believe it's our x.
Or I think it would be 2. I guess.
Yeah. x equals 2
Yeah.
would be the
And then 1 for that.
Yeah.
And the x and y intercepts. Where our graph crosses over. Is that what it's looking for?
yeah, like where the graph crosses the x-axis and the y-axis.
How do we figure that one?
Well, to find the y-intercepts, you set like all the x's to 0.
And that's your y.
And-
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so a y-intercept is 1. Or like, no, never mind. Like, yeah, because like if you go to the original function,
Uh-huh.
it's just a positive 1, right?
Oh yeah. So you're saying in the original f function of x, if we just make x 0, whatever's left over, that's our y-intercept.
I believe so.
Something like that. I just can't remember.
-2.
Is it the original equation or is it
Yeah.
the one? Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
even if you do it in the new one we made, like
Mhm.
0 minus 2 gives you a -2. You square
Square.
that, you get a +4 times 3. Yeah, it all equals out
12
to 1.
minus 11 is 1. Yep. Okay. And then our x-intercept.
And that one is what basically we solve it, so you get the whole
Okay.
equals 0 thing.
So I get on the x minus 2 one. I don't know. I guess I'm a little confused on that one. So since it's just 3 minus 11 on the outside, does that not make a difference on this one? Since there's no x?
Well, it's like I'm kind of confused. Like what I did is like first I add the 11 to the other side, divide it by 3, and then do the whole square root to get rid of that squared.
Okay. So you just set it to 0. Okay.
Yeah, and
And
just
then-
solve it out.
Okay. So did you get like x equals 4 square root 11 over 3?
Wait, where'd you get the 4?
Oh,
After I swung the 12 over 3.
So like
Yeah,
you add the
probably.
11.
So what I did is I squared what was inside the parentheses and then multiplied it all by 3. Probably shouldn't have done that.
What I did is like I added the 11 over to the other side,
Mhm.
divided both sides by 3,
mhm.
and you square root both sides.
And then squared it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I did too.
Okay. We got 11 over 3. Basically. So what'd you end up with?
I ended up with like the square root of 11 over 3 plus 2. Right?
That's what I got.
Okay. Yeah. Because the -2 goes over and then plus 2.
Like, and that square root, like the 11 over 3, that's plus or minus, right?
You
Yeah.
have to put plus or minus in front of it. Yeah.
Because it's like the x should be two different ones. So
And that's for a
Okay.
radical, right? That's anytime you got a square root, you got to do that.
Mhm.
Because it could be both. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Finding.
And then graph it. So you just have to plug that back in to know which one to go with, the negative or the positive.
No, I think like that is our like since like it's the x squared, it's a parabola, so it
Uh-huh.
crosses the x-axis on 2 points.
Oh, that's right. Because the y crosses, and then it's going to cross above it at the negative side, and then it's going to cross on the positive side. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And then on the stretch, since it's a 3, do you go over 1 up 3 for your first plot
Hmm.
when you're graphing? And if it was a 2, you'd go over 1 up 2?
No, I don't think it's.
How does that work?
I don't know the exact way that it like correlates with the graph, but it's like I don't know. All I know is like when we were learning about it, it's like it's stretched to a factor of 3.
Yeah,
It's
I've
like
always been
3.
confused on how that, like when we're graphing it, how do we, yeah, I've always been confused about that. I know when I punch it into my grapher, it changes. And the only correlation I can find is that if it's 2, it's like 1 over 2 up. If it's 3, it's 1 over 3 up.
I think that's how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. And that's when you make one on the left-hand side, one on the right-hand side of your vertex, and then you just graph it from there.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the vertex down at 2, negative 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going up. Okay. Do we have to turn this one in?
I don't think so. I think it's just like
Oh.
practice problems.
Okay.
Another way that I found for getting the vertex, like if you don't have to put it in the vertex form,
Uh-huh.
is you do negative b over 2a to equal your x coordinate, and then whatever you get for that, plug it back into your original equation, and that'll give you your y.
So you put,
And I tried.
like for this one, we would put negative 12 over 2 times 3.
Yeah, negative 12 over 2 times 3. So you'll get 2 for your x. And then when you plug it, and then you'll plug 2 into the original equation for x, and it comes out to negative 11.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of a quicker version.
So negative 12 over 2, you get negative 6 times 3, negative 18.
So you do
Or-
negative, it'll be negative, negative 12. So positive 12 over 2 times 3, so over 6.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of just like the quadratic formula, just except for the whole like without the square root crap.
Yeah.
Okay. B squared.
So negative b over 2a.
Okay. Negative B over 2A. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. I follow you.
It's pretty handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. And that gives you your vertex of the x coordinate of your vertex.
Yeah, and then whatever you get for that equation, you just plug it back in the original in substitution for x, and it'll give you the y coordinate.
So that equals the x, and then you plug that back in, and that'll get your y. Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Looks like she's online right now. She's grading stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm. Right. So like the domain and range, that'd be like, well, the domain is negative infinity to infinity. And
Mm-hmm.
the range is negative 11 to infinity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And you use the bracket on the range. Is that right?
Yeah, it would be bracket negative 11 to infinity, parenthesis.
Perfect.
Alrighty. Okay.
What do they want us to do here? Find roots or what?
For number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
solve
it's
for-
basically solve for x.
What's the first thing you did for the first one?
So what I did is I like added both sides by 10 equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
Did the whole was it Ruth's theorem, whatever. So it's like the synthetic division stuff. You know?
Did the 10 over 1 and then
Yeah. Well, like
divided
you
it out
find.
by the possibilities?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I did.
I know some of that homework was kind of brutal, man. It was like tons of steps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gee, it was. And then entering it into my math lab the way they want it is a whole other issue in itself.
Such a pain.
Yeah.
What?
Are you guys getting for your numbers 1, -4, -1, and 10?
Like for what you're dividing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the divider. Yeah. Huh, I didn't get it. And then you got 1, 2, 5, 10 plus or minus. I guess I haven't done 10 yet.
Did I just like +2 worked for me?
Was +2 working?
Positive.
I guess I haven't done that one. My bad.
Because like you bring down the 1, and so it's 2. So -4 plus a +2 equals -2. 2 times
Mhm.
-2 equals -4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you plug that trinomial into the quadratic formula.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought I found the calculator in my math lab under tools, but it was just like the manual and stuff. I haven't actually found the calculator.
Huh. That's weird.
2 plus or minus square root of 12. Or I guess 1 plus or minus square root of 12.
Right.
Is that 2 plus or minus square root of 24 over all over 2
So you'd factor out a 4.
from the 24?
Yeah, because then you square root that and it gives you a 2 on the outside. Perfect square. And so I got like, yeah.
When do you know when to write it, before or after the square root? You notice that in my math lab sometimes it had you enter it like 2 plus or minus square root plus 3, or
Oh, yeah.
and sometimes it was 2 plus or minus 3 square root.
I'm not sure it really matters.
Okay, so that was just a preference of my math
I
lab.
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your final on that one?
Mine, I got 2 and then 1 plus or minus the square root of 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Is that what you got, Rachel?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you just moving on to the next one?
Yeah, I kind of did them all already.
I figured. What was your first step on the second one?
On the second one, well, first I factored out, from that first bracket, I factor out x squared.
Okay.
And then I just kind of like took it in pieces and solved for 0. Well, solve for x, I mean.
Sorry, what
Did
did
you-
you say your first step was?
Well, for me, what I did is like in that first bracket, I just factored out an x squared.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just wrote it as like x squared, parenthesis, x minus 2, like close
Right.
parenthesis. Yeah.
Okay. I just heard X. I was going to say X squared. Okay.
Yeah.
On the other one, did you just FOIL it out, basically? Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
FOIL it out, solve for x.
Did you guys figure out how to find the horizontal asymptotes?
Kind of. Like, I'm spacing on it right now, but it made sense to me when I was reading it.
I looked it up the other day, and they put it pretty simply. It's just when the denominator has a bigger degree than the asymptotes on the x-axis, and when the larger is on the numerator, then there's no horizontal asymptotes. If they're the same, then it's equal to the coefficient of the largest exponent over the same thing on the bottom.
Oh,
So,
is that in the textbook?
No, I found this one online.
That's pretty easy to follow.
Yeah, I can email you guys the link if you want.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay.
it's like, so if the larger the larger exponents on the bottom, the horizontal asymptote is the x-axis,
Yeah.
and then if it's higher on the numerator, then it's +1.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then, so like, for example, like if we're looking at number 3 on that second section, if like, since they're the same, you said it's the coefficient of the highest divided by the highest coefficient of the second one?
Yeah, so it'll be 1 over
Oh, the one on the
1
bottom.
for the
Oh,
second.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
So it's like, I was looking it up in the book, and it's like, oh, like, as this nears infinity, then you can assume this, and I'm like, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
book but really weird.
So, yeah, that makes life easy. So, like, the only possible horizontal asymptotes is, well, like, what can be anything, but like, it's usually the x-axis, 1, or some other. Okay, yeah, I get it. I'm confusing myself, but I get it.
It's not hard to do at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I always double guess my algebra. I don't know why. I just
Rachel, did you already work through the things on number 2?
I've done a couple of them, yeah.
Cool.
so on the second one. So you got x squared parenthesis x minus 2 parenthesis, and then you just 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3, and FOILed that.
Well, no. So what I did is, like, I took that x squared and I solved for x. And I then took
So
like
x
that
is
x,
0.
then I took the x minus 2 and solved for x.
And then got x is 2. And then what about the 2x plus 3 squared?
That one I FOILed out and just did like the quadratic formula.
So you punch that into the quadratic formula. Okay.
Yeah, so I took like FOILed out like the 2x plus 3 squared, plugged it in.
Did you end up with 4x squared plus 12x plus 9?
Yes.
And then that goes into the quadratic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So whenever you can get an x squared by itself, that just automatically equals 0.
Basically.
And then, of
Or, like, I
course,
guess
anything inside a bracket, if it's x minus 2 or x plus 2, that's automatically with that one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, they don't have anything to do with one another, even though they're on the same side of the 0. I wasn't sure about that. All right. The absolute value one, you just solve it twice. You'd flip one to negative. That's the only
Yeah.
difference there.
Mm-hmm. What were your answers for that second one, like all the different exponents and stuff?
With the x cubed minus 2x squared.
Yeah. What were your answers?
I'm getting ready to punch in the quadratic right now. 1 second.
Okay.
Daddy,
Yeah, baby.
what are you doing?
Doing homework.
Why?
You see? Got people on there. I'll be done in just a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Love you.
Sweet. Sweetie. Where are you? Why? Not me. I go. I love you. That's not my room.
I'll probably have to hop off here pretty soon.
Yeah, like I need to be getting to class soon too.
Okay. No worries.
Love you. So did you get 144 minus 144 inside the quadratic?
Yeah.
So negative 12 plus or minus,
12.
or just negative 6 plus or minus 12?
No, it's negative 12 plus or minus 12.
Oh, okay.
Or I guess if you did, yeah, no, it still would be that, yeah.
Almost. How'd you get the 12, Chris?
Well, like in the original thing, like the 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. So it's negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 144, which is 12. Right?
Okay, I thought it was 144 minus 144, which gave us 0. Is that not right?
4 times 9.
Because the 4 times 4 times 9 equaled 144. And
Oh,
the
right.
12
Yeah, I think I did that wrong. Yeah, no, I did it wrong. Sorry.
So that's a 0 there. So it's just negative 12 over 8. And you just simplify that.
Yeah, number 2.
So negative 3 over 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah.
All right. I think I got to go, guys. Sorry.
That's okay.
Good fun. If you wouldn't mind sending that info you got, Rachel, I appreciate it.
Yep, I'll send it over.
Alrighty. I think I'm going to peace out too.
Okay,
See you
sounds
guys.
good.
Alrighty. See
Have a
ya.
good week.